Welcome to this explainer. Have you ever noticed something incredibly consistent among the world's top systems engineers, cybersecurity experts, and Linux administrators? They all seem to spend their days staring at what looks like a retro black screen with white text. In fact, many of these pros work full 8-hour days doing almost nothing but typing commands into this very interface. Today, we're going to uncover the mystery behind that blinking cursor and reveal exactly why this tool is literally the ultimate superpower in the tech world. Now, you might be wondering, and it's a completely fair question. We live in an era where modern operating systems are absolutely stunning. With graphical interfaces looking so beautiful and intuitive today, why on earth do these tech professionals still rely on a text-based terminal that looks like it belongs in the 1980s? Is it just to look like some cool hacker from a movie? Well, the reality is much more practical. The true power of this interface isn't about aesthetics at all. It's about doing things that modern graphical interfaces simply cannot do. Okay, let's dive into this by defining what we're actually looking at. First, we have the GUI, or Graphical User Interface. This is your standard Windows desktop, your Mac OS, or your phone apps. It uses windows, a mouse, icons, buttons, you know the drill. Its biggest advantage? It's incredibly easy to learn. But the major drawback is that you are essentially trapped in a box. You can only do exactly what the software designer allows you to do. On the flip side, we have the CLI, the command line interface. This is a system controlled entirely by text commands. It doesn't hold your hand, but it offers absolute, limitless, direct control over the machine. To truly understand this massive paradigm shift, we're going to break down the illusions of the GUI and explore the distinct superpowers of the CLI. We'll be looking at absolute efficiency and automation, the resource-saving performance king, pipelines like Lego bricks, ruling cloud and security, and finally, mastering direct control.
Let's jump into part 1, absolute efficiency and automation. Time to escape the mousetrap. So the biggest problem with the graphical interface is that it relies far too heavily on the mouse. Think about a standard daily task, like finding a specific log file. In a visual workflow, you have to open a folder, move your mouse to click the search bar, type in your keyword, and then just sit there waiting for the system to load the results. Or imagine trying to delete all your temporary files. You're opening multiple folders, selecting items, deleting them one by one. It's tedious, it takes multiple steps, and it is heavily reliant on manual human input.
Now contrast that with the command line, which completely bypasses all of that friction. To find that exact same log file, a pro simply types one line of text, like a quick find command for that directory, and it's done directly. Need to delete temporary files? Just type a quick remove command, and it's over in milliseconds. The terminal communicates directly with the underlying system. It completely skips the windows, the slick animations, the mouse events, and all those heavy background frameworks. That direct line of communication is what makes its efficiency off the charts. But the real magic here isn't just typing fast, it's the capability for true hands-off automation. In a visual interface, if you need to back up files, check servers, or analyze logs every single day, you have to manually click through those tasks every single day. But with the command line, you just write a simple shell script. You're basically telling the system to automatically compress and back up your files every night, and the computer just does it endlessly without a single manual click from you. And to put that into perspective, think about the scale we're talking about here. Because of remote operations and automated scripts, a single engineer isn't just managing one computer. They can simultaneously manage 10, 1,000, or even 10,000 servers all at once. This massive scale of automated monitoring is exactly why large-scale data centers simply cannot rely on visual interfaces. A mouse click just doesn't scale to 10,000 machines.
Let's move on to part 2, the resource-saving performance king. It is all about shedding the extra weight.
We all love beautiful interfaces, but that beauty comes at a really steep price: your system's resources. A visual desktop requires complex animations, advanced font rendering, GPU acceleration, and a ton of background services just to keep running. But a server? A server has a completely different set of priorities. Servers honestly don't care about your desktop wallpapers or fancy start menus. The only things that matter for a server are rock-solid stability, pure speed, and remote management. Because of this, the vast majority of Linux servers out there don't even have a visual interface installed at all. So, when these servers boot up, there is no desktop. You just get a simple text-based login prompt. Now, seeing a bare login might be terrifying for a beginner, but to an engineer, it's beautiful. It represents a perfectly clean, unburdened system. Rather than wasting precious processing power on drawing pretty boxes on a screen, 100% of that computer's resources are dedicated strictly to doing its actual job.
All right, part 3, pipelines like Lego bricks. Let's look at the magic of composability.
This is where things get really fun. These text-based tools operate on a brilliant philosophy of composability. They are quite literally like Lego bricks. The idea is that instead of having one massive, bloated software program that tries to do a million things okay-ish, you have dozens of tiny, incredibly simple tools that do exactly one specific job perfectly. And the real magic happens when you snap them together using a core concept called the pipe, where the output of one command immediately becomes the input of the next.
Let's look at how this actually works. Say you want to know exactly how many times a 404 error happened on your website. In a visual interface, you need to go buy or download dedicated analytics software. In the terminal, you just pipe 3 simple Lego bricks together. First, a tool called cat reads the giant log file. We pipe that straight into grep, which instantly filters out everything except the 404 errors. Then we pipe those results into WC, which instantly counts the lines. In literally 1 second, you've combined 3 isolated tools into a highly customized, ultra-powerful data analysis machine. Visual interfaces just cannot replicate that kind of on-the-fly power.
Next up, Part 4, Ruling Cloud and Security. This is all about speaking the language of the network.
To get why hackers and security engineers practically live in the terminal, you have to understand what the internet actually is. The underlying language of the network world, IP addresses, ports, DNS records, packet data, it is all fundamentally text. Because the command line is inherently a text-based environment, it's the absolute most natural and direct tool for network analysis. It's tailor-made for penetrating testing and automated security scanning. You can fire off rapid commands to scan IPs or capture network packets with pinpoint precision. In the security world, that level of exact control is absolutely critical. And this naturally extends to how we manage the global cloud infrastructure. Did you know that many global engineers never physically see the servers they manage? They rely entirely on remote connections. Now, if you try to use a visual desktop for a remote connection, it eats up high bandwidth, it suffers from frustrating lag, and it drops out constantly. But a text-based remote connection, it functions perfectly on just a few kilobytes of data. Whether that server is sitting in a local data center or halfway across the globe in Japan, it can be seamlessly managed. That incredible lightweight efficiency is exactly why Linux utterly rules the cloud.
Finally, Part 5, Mastering Direct Control and Overcoming the Fear.
Look, it's incredibly common for beginners to be terrified of the terminal. And let's be totally honest here, those fears are grounded in reality. It does not hold your hand, there are no friendly buttons to guide your next step, there are no visual safety prompts asking, are you absolutely sure you want to do this? And yes, theoretically, one single mistyped command can instantly delete your entire system without a second thought. That sense of danger is 100% real.
However, what beginners perceive as danger, seasoned engineers recognize as directness. A visual interface definitely makes a computer easier to use, but the command line turns that computer into a tool that can be completely and totally controlled. Once you really understand this paradigm shift, you'll start to realize that those visual menus were actually slowing you down and limiting what you could build. It's why cloud architects and DevOps teams inevitably gravitate back to the terminal. It's not just an interface, it's the method for directly controlling the digital world.
So, we've broken down exactly why the pros gladly trade pretty graphics for a blinking cursor. From the sheer scale of managing 10,000 servers at once, to snapping tools together like Lego bricks, to speaking the native text language of the internet itself, the command line is far from some archaic relic of the 80s. It is the ultimate superpower for anyone who wants to build, secure, and command modern digital infrastructure. Now that you know the unparalleled freedom waiting just behind that text prompt, what's your next move? Are you ready to stop fearing the black screen and finally unlock your computer's true potential? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.